Thank you all so much for joining us here from the Southwood County Rec Center. It is Hockey TV and the USPHL Premier Midwest free game of the week. The Hudson Havoc, the #1 team in the USPHL Premier Midwest West, taking on the Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings, the third place teams. We also want to thank you for joining us on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. If you're tuning in here tonight, you like what you see, you want to catch up with some more of the Riverkings games, maybe you're not subscribed to Hockey TV, go to YouTube, check out Wisconsin Rapids Community Media every home game, and usually it's Mr. Paul on the call here with Milt or myself. They are there for you because Art's always working hard, and they got extra camera angles, all kinds of good stuff, instant replays. You'll want to check that out. So if you're watching tonight and you want to see some more Riverkings hockey, you can catch it on YouTube. Wisconsin Rapids Community Media takes care of that. Do you like that, Paul? Do you like those extra looks? Wouldn't it be nice if we had like access to that while the game was going on?
We're a really big show. We're working on that right now. So,
and we do it right in central Wisconsin, don't we?
Absolutely.
By the way, fogging up a little bit inside the rink. That the effect of, well, it was a meaningful effect there as we started to get the game going, and also foggy outside. It has been one absolutely mind-blowing week of weather here in the state of Wisconsin. 14 inches of snow for us on Monday, followed by record low temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday. My workplace had a transformer blowout. It was so cold. And now here we sit at almost 40 degrees. And I'm going to tell you this much inside the rink, you can't feel it right now. I think they might have turned off the heaters because of the temperature going up. But, you know, you got a pretty strong immune system there, don't you, Paul? You can handle the ups and downs. I don't know if I can.
72 and sunny, Matt. 72 and sunny, buddy.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but we'll see what happens. You know, I might have to take an airborne or something tomorrow to make sure I get that immune boost.
Well, hopefully there'll be a large red light coming off the right there to keep you warm.
Yeah, there we go. So it is Cal Ambrose down to our right in net for the Hudson Havoc, wearing the black jerseys with the red and silver trim. They're going from right to left across your computer screen, mobile device, or television. The Riverkings wear the white jerseys with the green and blue. They're headed to the right as we are underway from Wisconsin Rapids.
Good to see Jordan Steer back. He took a slap shot last night, blocked a shot, so he ended up leaving the game a little early, so I'm glad to see him back.
Offside as Timo I had the intercept just outside of the blue line. Steer, a very important player for Marty Quarters and this Riverkings defense. You know, we talked about Fleming, we talked about Harold Juergens. I talked to Marty Quarters a couple of weeks ago. He said he thinks Steer, best defenseman in the league.
I would state the case for that. I would not want to try and get in front of one of his slap shots.
Certainly a couple of rocket shots from the back end. One thing you will notice a lot about the Riverkings, once things get underway, under the power play especially, they have a lot of right-handed shots. Harold Juergens, who was added a little bit later on in the season, right in the month of November, was a big addition to this blue line as a left-handed shot that can work on the power play.
I believe he had a nice goal last night.
He did. It was the first of the contest in the first period, which allowed the Riverkings to kind of hold on. A power play goal in the second early on for the Hudson Havoc. Tied the game at 1, and then the Riverkings getting the game-winning goal from Jesse Edwards later in that second period.
That was a nice job just there by Krieger. They took it one passing out of the zone, and then he dumped it in the other end. So good to see him moving her puck around early.
It's flipped up into the bench and out of play here as we're just 19 seconds in. Clamping down was the name of the game yesterday defensively, Paul, for the Riverkings. In that third period, they allowed only 3 shots to the Hudson Havoc. Yeah,
they made things good for Bradshaw, so I'm sure he appreciates that. If you'll watch a lot of their games, they've been collapsing down on the defenders or on the offensive player, not letting them have a lot of room. You can take away time and space, it makes things a lot harder on your opponent.
And even the goal that the Hudson Havoc scored, it was a power play, a little bit of a broken play in front. You'll have that from time to time, but you know, it was something that the Riverkings did very well all game long, like you said, making sure that they were defensively responsible in front of that goaltender. Oh. Jared Stevenson sends that one through the blue paint. Max Wigfield, the British international number 15, has a rocket of a shot if he's allowed to get it off. Now working on his left wing, has the puck. Wigfield ahead, hoping for Oscar Saarinen, the Finnish international. This will go down and is iced as Juergens gets to it first.
Yeah, he liked the speed he used getting back there. Even though it was probably going to be icing, he didn't take any chances. He was hustling the whole way back. So good job to Juergens.
So we already mentioned Adam Peterson, the leading scorer for the Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings. And on the other side, you have the likes of Saarinen, you have Dylan Marty. You have so many players that can contribute up and down this lineup for the Hudson Havoc. They're dangerous all the way through. And the Riverkings were very mindful of that all contest long yesterday.
Well, they just can't let up. They've got to stay on these guys all night long and not give them any breaks.
Wyatt Knight for number 12 was the one that scored the goal yesterday. There's Benjamin Land skipping one wide. Caleb Dusick, number 21. He and his brother Chris Dusick, number 17, out on the ice. A couple of Texans. Lamb on the intercept. Tries a wrist shot. Save made by Pacheco. Ends up leaving it back behind the net. Zach Hartley trying to spin out of danger. Chips it back over toward the corner. Rich Young now with a puck. Number 27 for the Riverkings. Knight for able to hold it in. A little bit of control here right now for Hudson as they pin the Riverkings into their own end. Stevenson trying to slap it out. This one will go through the skates of Knightburn back out to center.
That was a nice check there by Jesse Edwards.
Young chasing Knight for all the way back into the Hudson zone. This one is sent back ahead for Dusick, slapped away from him. Evan Erdman, who is a very underrated addition to this River King lineup a little bit earlier on this season. He came over in the same game as Juergens. Doesn't have quite the offensive flash of number 6, but it's very important. There's a shot and it gets chopped over the top of the net.
Nice shot by Richie Young heading to the net there.
.1808 left here in this first period of play. We invite you to stick around with us in between periods 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. Marty Quarters joining us between 1 and 2, and Brett Wall between 2 and 3 as they make the trek up here.
Okay, Matt, so who do you think is going to get the first goal tonight?
I think the first team to beat the other team's goaltender. I'm sorry.
Wow, I thought that Milt went out on a limb last night.
Yeah, I know. Safe pick. You can tell I'm not much of a gambling man.
Guess not.
The guy that goes to the casino puts a quarter on black and then that's about it.
Yeah, that's better than me when I go to the casino and I put my money on the buffet.
Well, you always win, right?
Absolutely.
2 places you always win, the buffet and the ATM. Face-off going to be coming back down inside the Hudson zone. The Riverkings will set out that top line once again. A bit of a matchup here as we see that line of Krieger, Peterson, and I going up against the third line of Hudson. Oh, right off of the draw, Timo I slapping that one wide. That'll be played back ahead by number 18, Caleb Kinski out of Iowa. Spinning back, one of the newer additions, Walker Smith for the Hudson Havoc. He wears number 23. This one is sent all the way back down. It will not be icing. Pacheco stopping it back behind. Number 26, Charlie Skinner there to cut things off. Flip back ahead, intercepted by Steer. Right onto the stick of Peterson, carrying it over the line as Steer breaking to the net. Well, tries a shot, the save made by Ambrose.
Nice shot.
And he'll just swallow that one up and hang on as we're starting to see things open up a little bit here. You know, after such a tight game yesterday, you would have to imagine that these teams are hoping things break open a little bit more, but knowing where we are in the standings, you have to think they're not going to want to be the first team to make a mistake.
Well, you've got to find that balance. You want to rush down to the other end of the ice and try to light the lamp, but then by the same token, you don't want to leave that puck land back behind you because your opponent's going to pick that up and run in there and try to make that light up on their own as well. So
Edwards tossed out of the face-off dot. It'll be Stevenson versus Saarinen. And Hudson able to get back out to center. Poke free by Juergens over toward the left-hand side. Tries a shot. Ambrose just going to swallow it up again. And yet another whistle here as we've just gone past 3 minutes now in this first period of play. Kind of moving slowly, a very deliberate pace to start off this contest.
It's like the first round of a prize fight. They're kind of feeling each other out a little bit right now. Nobody wants to take too many risks.
Face off to the right-hand side of Ambrose. Edwards gets tied up by Saarinen, where it is taken on now by number 24, Sean Potts. Out to center, Saarinen slapping it through the skates of Juergens. Chased down by Hartley. He gets run into by Saarinen. Back up the wall. Dusick was waiting, but the Riverkings have it, and now here comes Jesse Edwards. A bank pass looking for Thomas Kirchnock. A little bit out of his reach. Kirchnock able to catch up to it, though. Kirchnock on the backhand, sending it back down low for Edwards, but Stevenson to it first. He shakes free of Saarinen. Puck came free for Wakefield. Out to center, poke free by Dusek, and now he has a 2-on-1 from the blue line in. Dusek spinning away, Edwards puts the check into him. Puck comes free for Mitchell, back to the line, Potts, wrist shot, missed it wide as it banks off the back of the net.
Nice job defensively getting out there and challenging the shooter.
And a good job by the Riverkings on the recovery as there were some numbers in for Hudson. Wrap back over, near side circle, retrieved by Jurgens, toward the line, picked off there. Now Mitchell comes free. Mitchell with a shot, save made. A rebound is thrown right back out in front, but intercepted by the Riverkings. Well, you want to talk about being in tight on a shot.
Yeah, Riverkings have to watch out. They let that guy walk right into the back door, so.
Yeah, Mitchell was right in, probably saw the whites of the eyes of Pacheco through that mask. Chase Moyfer, another returning Havoc player, number 5, out on the ice now. Will feed it ahead for Mitchell in his own zone, past Milius. And on the take, here's Knifer with some space. Down left wing, tries a shot. Pacheco eases that one over to the glass on the far side.
Passing off again tonight.
Ends up behind Milius as it will come back out to center now. Chase McKenzie, number 55 of the Riverkings. Deflected by Milius.
So far the passing is a little crisper than last night. That's definitely an area they needed to improve on.
We remain scoreless here as we've hit the 5-minute mark of this first period of play. The Riverkings with a 3-1 victory yesterday, looking for the weekend home sweep of the first place Hudson Havoc. Max Moore back ahead, the former De Pere Voyager. Now Colin Moore back into the lineup for the Riverkings, someone who had been out for quite a while, had an arm injury, and boy, are they happy to have number 23 back.
Yeah, that was a great battle right there. He hit off his stick, and he still managed to play the puck deep into the corner by kicking it back in there. So, way to hang with it.
Moore for Moore, no relation. Lamb from his belly, able to feed it back ahead and out to center. As it's flipped over to this side, and now Steers in possession. Wifer into the skates of Max Moore. McDonald there, and he'll set it in. Back and forth we go, a bit of a teeter-totter affair. Shots not at a pretty much at a premium right now. Not a lot to talk about, just 3-2 in favor of Hudson. Josh Storms bats one toward the line where it's intercepted by Jurgens. He'll just spin free. Hudson making some changes. One sent into the corner over to this side where it'll be played back ahead by Storms. Out of the stick of Jurgens. Goes through the skates of Hartley.
Yeah, you gotta like Jurgens' patience with the puck there.
Yeah, he is so smooth back there, isn't he? Just a calming presence back in that blue line, and that's why Marty Quarters keeps increasing his ice time. It's well warranted.
Nice pass to the captain. Let's see if he can light it up.
Peterson's got Krieger with, going to try the shot that went off of the blocker of Ambrose and out of play.
That's at least his second shot of the night, so let's hope he can turn that into something here soon.
Yeah, they will hope for more out of Adam Peterson tonight. He did have the assist yesterday, so picking up his points, like we said, now the top scorer all time for the Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings on the season, up to 58 points in 36 games, 29-29. Incredible numbers there for Peterson.
Can't ask for it to be any more well-balanced.
Puck still loose off of the face-off. It'll be taken back now. Thomas Kirchnock fighting that loose puck free. His pass goes back ahead for Stevenson, ends up out of his reach. Havoc in possession again through the skates of Wakefield. Erdman batting it down the wall. Wrap back over toward the far side. Flug to this side for Saarinen. Wakefield bumped into by Edwards. Riverkings starting to put a bit more pressure on the forecheck here, not allowing Hudson to find the exit.
Yeah, they did that very well last night as well.
Hudson finally having a chance here. Wakefield ahead looking for Dylan Marty. Got cut off. McKenzie open wing over to the other side where it is taken on by Derek Flug. Flug, the 2000 out of the way. Out of Minnesota with a shot. The save made there as it was brushed aside by Pacheco.
If you're going to send that puck across the ice like that, you're better off sending it to a place where the other team isn't.
Here's Smith with a shot. Save made by Ambrose. It'll be Kyle Smith in possession again. Back toward the corner. Milius could not control, and here's Steer. Steer wanted a center, has it once again, now walks the line. Steer taking a look out front. Score! Rich Young on the doorstep. A beautiful feed from Steer. Riverkings lead 1-0.
Nice job. Way to go to the net.
Eighth goal of the season for Rich Young, the beneficiary of a wonderful play from Jordan Steer. And Paul, you had touched on it right as we were getting ready to drop the puck. how nice it was for the Riverkings to see Steer in the lineup here tonight, and it pays off.
Hey, he's a tough young player, and Richie Young's no slouch himself. I'm glad to see him go to the net and get that goal.
It's that 8th of the season there for Rich Young. Steer picking up his 29th point. We'll see if they add any more. And now here comes McDonald. Away from Lamb, who gets it right back. It out back toward the line. Kyle Smith will get that secondary assist. Fleming dances around one, still going. Had it poked away. And now poked back out to neutral by number 21, Caleb Dusek.
So, Matt, did I hear you say you're going to be interviewing the visiting coach?
We will between periods 2 and 3. Brett Wall.
Well, good for you. I had a chance to meet Brett Wall before the game, and he asked me to give his father a shout out. So Mike Wall back in Ohio, he says Brett says he misses you, Dad, and wishes you were here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in. And your son has done a wonderful job with this team in Hudson. It's been fun to watch just how good they've become this year. There's Hartley with a shot saved by Ambrose. Had to fight that one off as there was a man going through the crease. Cole Krieger, just in case there was a loose puck, but there was not.
Well, you have to go and you have to be there in case you know.
Absolutely.
It shows up.
You have to like that out of Cole Krieger, too. I mean, he was a player that was injured earlier on this season. Back into the lineup, but, not afraid to get to those dirty areas. Never has been afraid of it.
No, he's had a good season, even with the injury.
Krieger giving it across for Peterson with a shot to save made by Ambrose. Rebound is there. Now it's I going to the net mouth, and he ends up crashing in with Potts. The net comes off when we get a whistle.
That net's been a little bit of a problem the last couple games.
Well, again, we invite you to stick around between periods 1 and 2. The USPHL Premier Midwest free game of the week here on Hockey TV, as we will discuss the happenings with Marty Quarters and talk about what's up, what's coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, a big weekend coming up here next week as these two teams will see each other once again, but a little bit further west and north.
Minnesota?
Almost. Just got to keep going, right?
I guess.
Cross that bridge.
Nice job getting it deep.
Sent in on the backhand to the Edwards now, trying to get it away from Kinski. And again, we see the Riverkings pouring on the pressure here with a forecheck. Kinski looking to kick it free once again. Just is there. Riley Just, number 10. Look at Kinski just muscling his way all the way through. And Just helps him out.
Yeah, you get leaning on them guys against the board, making them work that hard early in the game. Pays off later on in the game before you start to run them down.
Pass across will be Stevenson trying to weave through. Dusek is there. And Stevenson on the intercept will send that one right back down. Chris Dusek, number 17, is the leading scorer for Hudson on 44 points. They have Dusek at 44, Knifer at 43, and Marty at 42.
Yeah, he's done most of his damage with the assists.
I do remember watching these teams play back at the showcase a little early on this year, and it seemed like every game that I called for Hudson, they had a different leading score. Ooh, somebody was jumping to the top of the charts. Out of the reach of Milius. Fortunately for the Riverkings, that one goes off of the officials, so did not go for icing. Across for Steer. Here's Milius again. End of a shift, just chopped at it. Flug was able to angle him away. And now back across the line, there's Marty. He'll dish one in. Pacheco dropping it off. Picked back up by Raymond Fleming. Touch pass on, intercepted. Whitfield with a shot. Didn't get everything he wanted on that.
Very fortunate there.
You have to be absolutely sure if you're going to one-touch that pass back that way that someone wearing a white jersey is waiting for it. Sent back in. Pacheco just knocking it aside now in a bit of danger as he gets some help from the defender. That was Fleming. Young can't skip free at center. Poked away. Back ahead. Moore with a couple of moves. Picked up by Skinner with a pass back ahead in some space now as Barnish goes in.
Nice job by Hartley getting back there.
Closed off that time and space in a hurry. Jurgens with a pass ahead. Here is Moore activating from the defensive spot. Colin Moore passed through. McDonald trying to get the shot on. It ends up in the glove of Ambrose, and he'll hang on.
Moore may have almost been better off taking the shot there and trying to play for the rebound. So the guy coming in was covered up pretty tight, but a little harder for him to get a clean shot away. But you bounce it off the goalie and lands in front of him, he may not have time to react.
How have you liked the play of Bradley McDonald over the last couple of weeks, Paul?
Bradley McDonald's been playing really hard, so glad to have him on the team. He's really been an asset to us on the ice. So,
coming over from the Evansville Junior Thunderbolts, a 2000 out of Newmarket, Alabama. You don't see a lot of Alabama players, do you?
Well, me being from Florida, I can't really, speak about Alabama, sir.
Uh-oh. We're going to start bringing up some SEC stuff now, aren't we?
I'm definitely not a Gators fan.
Back down low, we see Hartley taking a hit there from Caleb Dusek. That will bring our first penalty of the contest. And here comes Peterson racing ahead. He might beat Moifer around the corner. He does. Peterson with a shot hit the post. Moifer on the touch will bring the penalty. Peterson lifts his head to the sky. That would have been huge right there, Paul, because the NCAA rule, for those that don't know it, even on the delayed penalty, if Peterson would have scored, they still would have got the power play, too. A little bit different than the NHL.
He's just a little bit snake bit right now. I said that last night. He's at 29 goals. He just can't crack to that 30th one yet. I'm hoping he gets it here later tonight. He's already had, I think that's his third or fourth shot already this game.
And he is the all-time leading goal scorer for the Riverkings as well throughout his career, nearing 90. All Riverkings with the power play goal in the first period. Yesterday, there's a shot on that ends up getting blocked. The Hudson bench likes that. Timo Y picks it up at the circle on the near side. Krieger to Steer. Now a pass across from Fleming as he had faked a shot. Peterson down in the slot area. Looked like he might have taken a hit as he looks back toward the official. This one fluttered toward the line. Krieger wouldn't allow it to come back out, and he'll find an eye down low. Timo Y to Jordan Steer. Right-handed shot over the fellow right-handed shot Fleming. Now over to this side. It's getting a little physical in front, is it not? Now here's Krieger. He was open but couldn't corral the pass as Dusek will flutter that one to the line but not out.
Well, it's easy to take a guy on with your stick.
And that's really tying up Dusek in front, which is allowing Krieger to find some soft space, but they can't find him. Now here is I.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're letting that kind of play continue. Peterson's been hooked several times. He's been cross-checked several times. Now he was holding his stick. He's just letting him kind of do what he wants in there.
And the physicality continues. Now here's Jesse Edwards, fresh off of the bench. And physical on both sides. Fans starting to look for the calls now, too. Here's Edwards walking in. Couple of moves, gets taken down. But the whistle had already blown. And they're waving out for the face-off. They might have gotten Peterson inside that crease area. And obviously the Riverkings bench and fans down on that end not liking what happened with Adam Peterson.
Well, I'm all for letting the players play, but at the same time, too, when they're cross-checking continuously, they're hooking, they're holding. At some point, you have to let the best players on the ice be the best players, and when you're taking advantage of them and the officials step in to help out, that's a poor job on their part, in my opinion.
And that had gone on for a pretty good duration of the power play. We are a minute 15 into it already, so 45 seconds left on the man advantage and the face-off outside. No additional penalties, so Dusek remains alone in the box on his side.
Well, here's hoping they just call that the same way if that starts going the other way tonight then.
Now the precedent has been set, and we'll see how it shakes out from here. Edwards over for Hartley, overskated the puck. Wigfield now has it. Wigfield, if he had Marty, or if he would have seen him, he had him going into the offensive zone. Would have been an excellent short-handed chance for Hudson, but it falls by the wayside. Now Juergens harassed at the line. Marty trying to spit it out, still not out. Finally finds neutral. A lot of power plays falling by the wayside yesterday, Paul. Both of these teams did get a power play goal. 1 for 7 for Hudson, 1 for 6 for Wisconsin Rapids. Looks like they'll go 0 for 1 to start this one off. Edwards on the rush right after the penalty had expired. Throws it through the blue paint. Nets off the moorings.
Yeah, that happened last night.
And Ambrose will keep the play alive as he puts it back on the moorings. Now here comes Barnish trying to get around Juergens. Tried the shot. Good job by Hartley to come over and help out. intercepted. Kinsey with a shot, blocked by Jurgens.
Collision down there in the corner. Got a couple guys banged up.
Yeah, looks like maybe some sticks tied up, and now that's going to be a penalty to Barnish.
Another little job with the stick there.
I don't know if they'll take Hartley too, but Barnish had put 2 hands in a stick on Hartley as he was trying to escape the pile. The ref caught that.
So Matt, look around the visitors' net, around the posts there. Tell me what you see.
I see a lot of snow.
A lot of snow piled up. Why would that? What would be the advantage of that?
Well, right now I believe it's mostly because Ambrose is doing a lot of work down there. You see the posts are kind of where those snow banks are. Are you trying to do a little like Marc-Andre Fleury, build up the snow pile in front there?
Yeah, the same thing was going on last night.
Yeah, well, if you can find the loopholes, use the loopholes, right?
Been a lot of loopholes at that end so far.
Another power play on. Here's a shot from Steer, and it'll be kicked aside by Ambrose. Good job to track that one through a sea of bodies. Dusek looking to play it back ahead. It'll be knocked down there inadvertently by the official. Steer has that one elude him, and it's back out to center.
Nice and calm back there.
It'll be Fleming back on the take. Minute 34 left on the power play as we hit 5 minutes remaining here in this first period. Riverkings leading 1-0 on the goal from Rich Young. Krieger centering pass, missed everybody, and it's all the way back down into Wisconsin Rapids territory. Seems like it's been a little while since Tom Pachaco's had a touch on the puck, and he'll leave it back off.
He looks good tonight, though.
Yeah, Pachaco's been tested 7 times and has answered the bell all 7. Peterson trying to feed it down the wall, now picked back up, and here comes Fleming, surveying, throws it back to Steer. He's got a little space, decides to feed it to Peterson. Peterson, wrist shot, that one deflected, and it'll be sent back out by Potts all the way down.
It's interesting, you don't see Peterson back at the point much.
Yeah, it looked like he was back there to cover after Fleming had got down low. He was down at the bottom of the circle, found Steer, and maybe one pass too many up top. 38 seconds left on the power play. Edwards accepts the pass out at center, trying to feed it through to Kirchnock. Comes right to him. Edwards just decides to send that one in as a stick goes flying. Going to be Skinner picking it back up.
It'll be big to pick up a power play goal here.
Riverkings have 22 seconds to try to do it. Jurgens, wrist shot, save made. Ambrose able to hang on as it hits him right in the Havoc logo. Leaves 19 seconds on the power play. Paul, what have you seen so far of these power plays for the Riverkings? The puck movement's been good, but it looks like Hudson is just kind of making sure that they're getting in those lanes and not giving anything cheap and easy right now.
Yeah, we got to start going to the net. Make life harder on their goalie. Yeah, they're doing a better job of shooting the puck up towards the top of the net tonight. Last night they started out shooting the puck towards the bottom, and the big leg pads just cover everything up. So
10 seconds left on the power play. A shot that gets knocked down and cleared. So it looks like Hudson, and indeed they will now, 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Backhand of the line. Lamb able to hold it in. Try the shot. Intercepted by Jurgens. He'll feed ahead for Kirchnock. A chance for a 2-on-2. Kirchnock across the line. Tries a shot saved made by Ambrose. Stevenson back to the circle for Kirchnock. He gets harassed there by Knightfer. Marty and Flug in there. Lamb trying to poke it free as the puck is now stalemated at the boards. And that will bring a whistle. Everybody's favorite play in hockey.
that line moved like the DMV.
I haven't been there recently.
No? It's a good time.
Oh.
Just take a couple days and go there.
Yeah, you know what? How about you just knock it all out one day? Go to the DMV in the morning and the dentist in the afternoon.
Yay!
That'd be a great day. Face off coming up over to the right-hand side of Ambrose. It'll be Milius to take it as the Riverkings get a little bit deeper down into the lineup, and Marty Quarters is very comfortable with that. He likes rolling his 4 lines as much as possible. Rich Young, the goal scorer, is back out there, and remember that was assisted by Kyle Smith, who is also out on the ice. Now Mitchell coming through, and he's got Dusek with Mitchell with a pass across, and that one chopped over the top of the net. He had Dusek, who just could not get the angle on it.
High and to the right.
And Dusek trying to put that stick down, was in good position on the back door. but not quite the direction they needed on that puck. Shots on goal, 11-7 in favor of the Riverkings. 2:39 remains here in this first period of play. 1-0 Wisconsin Rapids after their 3-1 victory yesterday.
Nice simple play there. Get it out of the zone.
Right into the equipment of Cole Krieger as he tries to spin away from Starkey. Fleming has it again, and he'll play it back ahead for Timo I. For Peterson, top of the circle. Shot off of the side of the net, and it will come back over toward this side. Steer setting in, back behind Ambrose. Picked back up by the Havoc. And a whistle, and a penalty behind the play. Storms must have said something that the official did not like. And he is not just going to the box, he is being told to go back to the dressing room. Storms beside himself. He is not exactly sure what happened there, but Josh Storms is going to get the hot water in the showers tonight because he's heading back to the dressing room. Just will serve the penalty, and it's a 5-minute major that goes on the board with 2:08 left here in this first period. So the Riverkings get the major as we get near the break. 5 minutes for abuse of an official. Wow.
Wow.
Well, Paul, one thing that's very important at this level of hockey, you know, these are young men learning about life, trying to get to the college level. You have to mind your P's and Q's.
No zebra jokes.
So here we go now. 2 minutes remaining in this period. The Riverkings will be on the power play regardless of how many times they score for the next 4 minutes and 43 unless they take a penalty. Edwards over for Stevenson at the far side. It'll be Hartley there to retrieve. Thought about the shot, decided against it. Tosses it back down low. A bouncing puck picked up by Kirchner. He and Moifert come together. Jurgens trying to chip it free. Skinner lost the handle on it. Edwards has it again for the Riverkings. To Jurgens. Swung a crossover for Hartley. Hartley throwing it through the mixer. Kirchner picks it up. Passes across, and then Edwards is off the side of the net.
That'd be huge if we could pick up one or two here.
Kirchner cast again back to Hartley. To Jurgens. 75 seconds left in the period. Riverkings will toss it down low. It'll be Edwards once again trying to spin free for Stevenson. Stevenson deals for Edwards and then heads toward the net mouth. Jurgens has it again. Walks the line. Feeds for Edwards. Edwards losing the handle on it. Trying to get it back. Flutters one toward the net mouth. Stevenson denied. And then it's chopped over the top of the net. Now to play by Kirchner.
Well, good to see him going to the net.
Yeah, some excellent opportunities there by the Riverkings. I guess you could say, quote-unquote, their second unit power play because the top line now rolling out. And there were certainly some threatening moments there.
Well, they got, regardless of which line's on the ice, they got to maintain the pressure.
53 seconds left in the period. Steer stepping up, picking up the puck now, looking to spin free back behind. He'll exchange with E. Timo I with it again in the corner. Krieger coming to try to help him out. Timo I harassed all the way there by Chris Dusa. Back to the line and Steer. He'll find I again. 30 seconds left of the period. Swung back across over to the far side. Fleming. He'll dance off of the line. Try to pass it through the mixer. Nobody there. Timo I has it. 20 seconds left of the period. Steer. Back down for Krieger. Trying to step free down in the corner. Krieger has it again. Krieger with it one more time now. As the Riverkings are stuck out on the perimeter. Time running down. They're going to lose the handle on it. And now here comes Dylan Marty with the dying moments of the period coming up here. Down to 3 seconds. Dusek on the intercept with the shot. The save made. And that'll do it.
Nice shot by Pacheco there.
Yeah, Pacheco had to come up big late in that. And a little bit of momentum for Hudson maybe to build on there as they get the shorthanded chance in the final moments of that first period. There will be 2 minutes and 52 seconds of carryover power play time in the Storm's major. And the Riverkings will have a 1-0 lead going into the second period. Time to get that going in the second period to start things off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think something about maybe push the referee or something. So gave us a 5-minute power play, and hopefully we can get something out of it. It's good that we got a good start. We talked earlier in my office, the team that scores first usually has an advantage at this level, so hopefully that carries on, and we're going to have a tough second period here.
And you and I did talk about that a little bit during the pregame skate as well, is that these are teams that your younger player, sometimes you try to overcome that adversity, you start gripping your stick a little bit tighter, and on your side of the scale, it's got to be feeling good that now you've taken the lead 2 games in a row against the top team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you hope for, but then you have to get back to basics and task at hand in your next shift. And but it is a lot easier to play with a lead because we kind of have a saying in our locker room, we want to play like we're already behind and play a little bit more with a sense of urgency, a little bit more desperation, but with control. But when you have that lead and you still have that mentality, that's usually a recipe for something good. So hopefully that carries on. I mean, they're a good team. They've been in first place all year, so we're not going to take anything lightly, and we're going to see how good we are and hopefully have 2 good periods here and feel good before we go to Hudson next weekend.
And when I watch your team play against Hudson and I watch Hudson play against you guys, I almost feel like if we swap jerseys, that you would probably not even be able to notice the difference. You have the good players on the back end on both sides. You have the high-quality forwards and lines that can skate, lines that can score, and even your goal tonight, Rich Young, deeper in the lineup, comes up with a big goal.
Yeah, Rich is a third-year guy, and he brings a lot of energy to our team and knows what we want to do out there. And their coach, Brett, has done a great job getting together a good team. It's really hard at this level to have good balance all the way through your lineup, and I think that's what you're seeing tonight with both teams. There's not a bad player on the ice, so both teams have good balance, and hopefully that makes for some exciting hockey because we've got a nice crowd here.
You come off of the win yesterday. I know you guys really just wanted to get that performance from last Saturday out of your minds. Not necessarily a bad performance. You run into a hot goaltender, but in this last month of the season, you find yourself in a pretty heated battle for those top 3 spots, and last year, you found out just how important it is to have one of those top 2 spots when you go into that final round of the playoffs with a chance to go to Boston.
Yeah, I think historically looking, if you look at the teams that have home ice, they usually make it to Boston. So we came 3 years ago. We were a goal short, lost in overtime to go to Boston, and we were on the road. We definitely want to be at home. We had great support here with our volunteers, with all of you guys, and then our fan support and our community support. But we're pretty battle-tested team on the road, and we're not afraid to get on a bus and try to win some games on the road too. But we do want to be at home.
And you talk about being a battle-tested team. You have so many veteran players and guys that have been through your system now, whether it be second or third year. We talk about Peterson, Krieger, Raymond Fleming, Zach Hartley, just those leaders that you have on this team. Jesse Edwards, another one that comes to mind, who's been very important here down the stretch. What are these guys giving you here since the New Year's break that maybe you might not have seen? Because there were the struggles early on in the year. You go back and forth, wins, losses, having some troubles on the road, but it seems like the team is maybe finding a little bit more consistency in your eyes.
That's the key word right there, consistency, and it comes from our older players, and now they're starting to bring it. Adams had a great season, but he's played a lot better the second half of the year, and Jesse and Cole are 2 pretty good 1 and 2 centers that have at this level, and they bring the consistency, and then it's a matter of just getting it through our lineup. And hopefully that happens now because we've proven we can beat anyone, but we've also proven we can lose anybody. And, that's a tough team to play at the end of the year, and hopefully, we're winning more than we're losing when we get the playoffs. So
I know one thing that you had touched on earlier this year, kind of when we were talking in showcase time, you were a little concerned about your goaltending, but Drake Bradshaw has stepped up in a big way, came up with a big win for you yesterday. Don Pachaco's looking pretty solid. He went out and got Pavlinsky as well. Are you happier with your goaltending now versus where you were in December and October when we talked about it?
Absolutely, and that's not a knock on Parker Rutherford because we really like Parker and he had a great season last year for us, but it just wasn't clicking for him and we had to make some changes, and Bradshaw really stepped up. Bringing in Gio has really made a competition good for our goalies. And, we know what Dom can do. He's battle-tested. He's played at high levels in AAA in Toronto and coming from the Hill Academy. So now we feel like, you see, we're rotating him right now. So one of the things that we really improved on, it wasn't so much goaltending, but our defense has really stepped up and matured and added some good players back there with Erdman and Jurgensen. So I think that has a big bearing on how we're playing goals against right now.
I know a guy that's very popular in your locker room is also back in the lineup, in Colin Moore. What has that meant for the team?
Yeah, Colin's tough. He's ready to stand up for anyone. He's a fan favorite and a team favorite. And now he's at forward, and he's doing really well and getting back into shape. And he brings some size, energy, and he brings that will to win that we really needed this time of the year.
It's a heck of a time to start getting healthy, isn't it? That's got to feel great.
Yeah, that is good. So I think we're ready to go. I got to get back in the locker room.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go. Thanks for joining us. Marty Quarters here, joining us on Hockey TV and Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. We thank you for joining us. Welcome back, everyone. Just about set to begin the second period here from the Southwood County Rec Center. 1-0 after 1 here. The Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings leading the Hudson Havoc on this USPHL Midwest free game of the week on Hockey TV. 7:43, Rich Young from Jordan Steer and Kyle Smith, Young's 8th of the season. Jordan Steer's 26th assist of the campaign. My name is Matt Panier. Paul Kennedy joining me here. And Paul, that first period, pretty much everything the Riverkings could have asked for. They got their goal. They had the sustained pressure. Maybe, just maybe, if there was one thing, would have liked to see more out of the power play, but they're going to have 2 minutes and 52 seconds here to start the second period on the power play to try to exercise those demons.
Yeah, they've got to get some jump in their step coming out now to start this second period and take advantage of this power play. That last 30 seconds or so of the period looked a little choppy for them, so that we really need to come out here and let's take advantage of the opportunity that we have. And I think that if they can get up by 2 goals, it's going to be a long night for the Havoc.
It will definitely be tough for the Havoc to come back from that. You know, we talked about the stat line and how the Riverkings have been so good when leading after 1. Their numbers look even better when leading after 2. And you saw what happened yesterday. They took that 2-1 lead into the break and only allowed Hudson 3 shots the rest of the way through. So the Riverkings have been a team, and that's not just what happened last night. It's something we've seen throughout the year where if they get that lead, it isn't easy to get it away from them.
Well, I think they were aided a little bit last night by the fact the third period just had no flow to it, really. Both teams took a lot of penalties, and it was just a choppy period. So.
Fresh ice, we swap sides for the middle stands as the Riverkings now attack down to the left-hand side, and they'll set things up on the power play. Steer for Timo I as he begins over on the point on the far side. Steer pass in front, looking for the deflection from Krieger. Ambrose made the save, and it's clear.
Well, got to take advantage of this new ice, too.
Yeah, puck moves a little bit nicer early on in the period. Dropping it back now. There's a shot saved by Ambrose. This he denies Krieger. Skinner looking to poke it free. It'll be back down in the corner. And Peterson has it again. Adam Peterson looking over to this side. Pass in front. Krieger at it. Blocked in the skates of Dusick. Trying to come up with it, but Dusick has the puck, and he'll wrap back toward the point. And cleared.
You know, Jordan Steers usually does a great job of keeping those in the zone. That one just managed to get by him.
And Chris Dusick getting in front of his goaltender, Cal Ambrose. Might have saved one there. Here's Edwards. Shipping it around. It'll be Caleb Dusick coming back now. Edwards able to rip the puck back away from him. Look at his skate free of Chris Dusick. Once again in possession here of the Riverkings to the point. Faking the one-timer. Jurgens walking. Now gives across. Here's Hartley. His wrist shot blocked by Chris Dusick. He'll chip over for Skinner. A little time and space. Skates it up and clears.
Dusick and Dusick. Could be a law firm.
Caleb and Chris, a couple of Texans. 1 year separating them. Here's Hartley. Away from Wigfield. Back ahead. Stevenson with the move. Tried to center. Puck still loose in front. Ambrose had to make a save.
Need to get it set back up now again.
Still 54 seconds left on that major to Storms.
You think Storms got to spend some time with the coach between periods?
He may have had a little bit of an intervention.
Somebody's going to have a long bus ride home.
Back down into the corner would be Stevenson setting up again with 34 seconds left on the power play. Gets the return from Jurgens at the top of the circle now, trying to feed it down low. Couldn't connect, but Edwards has it again. Got a backhanded pass. It was intercepted and cleared. Boy, this could be a huge boost of momentum for Hudson. They already killed off 2 penalties in that first period and now killing off this major that has 15 seconds left on it. The Havoc have been good while shorthanded.
Well, 58 points on the season. They've been good a lot this year.
Deflected up and out of play off of the stick of Erdman. And just 1 for 6 yesterday on the power play for the Riverkings. That was their first goal, and it looks like they're about to go 0 for 3 to start things off here. You always got to wonder, too, about the balance of the penalties. Seems like in hockey they tend to even themselves out. So at some point you would have to imagine Hudson might get their opportunities on the man advantage.
Still a lot of stick work out of the Hudson players on Peterson, though.
Here's Steer looking to dip the shoulder. It'll be back to 5-on-5 hockey now. Another quality kill there for Hudson, and it is cleared back out. No icing, though. Like maybe Pachaco thought it was going to be, and now almost turned over. Here's Kinski, centering pass.
Nice job helping out there.
Yeah, Krieger coming back. He sniffed that one out. Puck back ahead. Peterson in over the line. Offside, though, and now he's going to hear about it from Chris Dusick, and then he'll let Dusick know that he doesn't appreciate that, and we'll get a bit of a scrap here.
Well, maybe he didn't hear the whistle. We got a pretty good rocking crowd here tonight, so possible the captain couldn't hear over the crowd noise.
And of course, you're never going to convince anyone wearing a black jersey of that, but it's what you'll tend to see at all levels of hockey. That shot comes in late. You're usually about to hear about it, and Adam Peterson is no stranger to hearing about things from the other team.
Well, I believe he's leading the Riverkings in penalty minutes as well, is he not?
All time. He's going to have just about every record. Creeping up on the games played, too. That record to Austin Quarters, but if the Riverkings, I think they only have to go 7 games into the playoffs, and then that would give Peterson that mark as well.
Might have to name the building after him.
Maybe. A lot of that time coming here at the Southwood County Rec Center. You know, they really could just, what would you do if they named the penalty box after him? You think they've ever done that for anybody?
Not outside of the movie Slapshot.
Sent back in, it'll be Ambrose. Touching it off, Dusick over to this side for Lamb. As Hudson looks to get that offense going. 17-8 shots on goal in favor of the Riverkings. They've held the balance of the offensive play in this, aided by those 3 power plays. We have yet to see that offense of Hudson come to life.
Should have been a tripping call.
Yeah,
there.
they might have just gotten away with one there as Kniford chopped down one of the Riverkings back behind. Swung to this side, Milius. It got cut off from Young. Puck still loose. Smith trying to help it back ahead, and now Fleming back to Steer. In his own zone, directs it back over to this side for Fleming. A little bit more scrapping happening behind the play as Lamb had come together with Milius. Now Benjamin Lamb on the take. Pass ahead, helped in by Kniford. Dom Pachaco to stop it back up. Hudson making some changes. Riverkings trying to get back out. It'll be Moore stopped up, and now here's Wakefield. Moore can't find the exit. That one comes in from Kniford. Rebound loose right at the side of the net. Steer just in time, able to get it away.
Nice job helping out Pachaco there.
Spun back by Walker Smith, but taken away from him, and now out at center to be Flug, intercepting at his own blue line. Backhanded in by Wakefield. Hudson looking to make a couple of more changes here. Steer running out of time, able to bank that one ahead. It stays in the zone now, fluttered toward the net mouth, and Pachaco wisely just going to cover. And players go flying as Wakefield and Saarinen came together, and then Saarinen took one of the Riverkings with him. I think it's Steer.
It is.
And that was, I don't know, that was kind of just players getting tied up, really. It didn't look like there was anything too sinister there.
The Havoc player took his own player out, and he took Steer out with him. So I think the Riverkings need to realize that they're in control of this game right now. They're out shooting their opponent. They were up on the scoreboard. They need to realize where they're at. I think they're trying to force the play a little bit, and they're ended up fanning on some passes, fanning on some clearing attempts. Take their time, realize that they've got that extra half second to make a smart play.
Well, they'll have a face-off down in their own end here to kick things back into motion with 15:09 left in this second period. You got Oscar Saarinen and Max Wigfield out there. That is a lot of humanity. Saarinen standing at 6'6", Wigfield at 6'4". Saarinen to take the draw over to the right-hand side of Pacheco. It is won by the Riverkings. Still loose, but then knocked away from Dylan Marty. Pass back high ahead. Here's Stevenson trying to get around Smith. Backhander, save made, and Ambrose just decides to hang on to that one.
Good idea shooting the puck there, though. He had guys coming down on it through the slot. Good opportunity to pick up a rebound possibly, but goaltender just swallowed it up.
And not a bad idea. You talk about players using the goaltender as a passing apparatus from time to time. Sometimes they just throw it on there hoping that a rebound gets kicked free, but Ambrose was there and ready to hold on.
I believe it was Wayne Gretzky who was the first player to intentionally shoot it in off the goalie.
Back from his office behind the net.
He scored a couple of goals, didn't he?
Just a few. I think there's statues about that kind of stuff.
Tripped over the blue line. That's been happening a lot to our opponent. Home ice advantage.
Marty falling down there as the puck was going back behind him. The top line out there again for Hudson as they try to get something going here. Stuck now on 9 shots on goal. There's a big hit by Hartley as he comes together with Marty. Sent back in, Pacheco. In a bit of danger now, swings it back to the corner. Kinski will catch up to it first. Pacheco back to his net mount. Irrigans for Stevenson. The speedy Stevenson looking to connect with Kirchnock. Misses the target. This will go down for an icing as Flug gets there first.
I like the way Edwards came back on that last play. When the puck was back behind the net, he stood right in his own slot, made sure nobody was going to come in there and get anything cheap.
Riverkings really have been very responsible defensively throughout the weekend. Like we said yesterday, just allowing the 3 shots on goal in that third period. And again here today, we're nearing the halfway point, and right now Hudson's not even into double digits on the shots on goal.
More stick work.
Clean face-off win by the Riverkings there. It's intercepted by Moiffer at the point. Wrist shot didn't make it through. Back to the point. Moiffer with again another shot. Skips in, loose in front. And Edwards will clear it off of the doorstep. That puck was open. The cage was open. But the Riverkings got to it first.
Well, that's how you're going to score goals in these type of games. Both of these goaltenders are too good to go giving up too many clean ones.
It was a very good job there by Hudson to get in front of Pacheco's net and disrupt things, but the Riverkings were all over that loose puck when they had to be. Flip back in. Peterson looking to knock it down. It's taken away by Dusick as those two scrap again. They're starting to become more familiar with each other.
Yeah, I mentioned last night by the time they get to the end of the 4th game, there's going to be a lot of not-like relationships.
Well, if you remember, even on that first power play, those were the two that were scrapping in front of the net for a good minute. Here's Dusick with it again, trying to spin away from Timo I. And again, you see the Riverkings putting that pressure on with the forecheck. They are just smothering Hudson right now, which forces the turnover out at center. Now Hudson will have to chase again. Moiffer back over to this side, flipped up, knocked down by Peterson. Trying to get around Dusick. Has it again, looking for I, but it gets deflected out to center now. Here's McKenzie.
Smart play there, just dump it in.
Back ahead, this one is all the way back down into Riverking territory, down at 12 minutes and 38 seconds left here in this second period. Now Peterson looking to skate free. He and Dusick once again come together. Young centering pass looking back for Krieger. Knocked away from him, and now Mitchell with a chance for a 3-on-2. Passes ahead, and now Kniford's got a little space. Lost the handle on it. Erdman chases him into the corner. Young on the take will bounce it back out to center. Now here's Peterson. Nice pass back for Steer. Activating from the blue line, trying to work through. Knocked away from him as the puck goes in on Fleming. And Hudson was looking for too many men on the ice. Riverkings in some dangerous territory there on the change, but not quite, said the official.
A little safer play that time would have been for Fleming to take the puck back behind the net instead of crossing over in front of his crease.
Smith on the take, stops it with a circle, trying to feed it down low for Milius, who will catch up to it. Has Young down low, couldn't get it there though. Lamb on the intercept, Milius tying him up. Riverkings back with it again. Now Rich Young, the goal scorer in this contest, gets bumped by Potts, and then a big hit coming in there by Milius as it's done up at the point and Steer. Caleb Dusick has it. He'll go one-on-one back the other way with Fleming. Dusick looking for a little bit of help. Now tries to toe drag around. Good play by Smith tracking back.
Riverkings have been playing great defensively here so far in this period.
Yeah, Smith, the former defenseman himself, coming back to knock that away. Here's Young. Saarinen into the skates of Lamb, able to elude Max Moore, flipping it back out to center, knocked down by Jurgens. Lamb has it again. Almost feels like the second period is a bit on the tentative side on both sides here, Paul. I almost feel like both of these teams, again, worried about making some mistakes.
Well, next goal in this game's huge.
Saarinen trying to feed it through. That one knocked away. It'll be batted back ahead. Bouncing puck, McDonald. Flip back in.
Almost.
Hartley banking one over for Jurgens. Heralds Jurgens with a pass back ahead, and now McDonald again. Swinging it on for Max Moore. One-on-one. Will pass it off. Trying to hit Colin Moore, who ends up in the net. And that'll bring a whistle.
So if we look at the net to our right again there, Matt, look around the bottom of the post, what do you not see?
No snow. It's not quite scraped up as much, but again, Pacheco not really seeing quite as much action as Cal Ambrose has been.
Still interesting that would happen down there twice.
It's kind of a goaltender thing. Some of them really like to put the snow out there. Some of them like to keep a clean crease. I remember a goaltender by the name of Chancey Calhoun who played for the St. Norbert College Green Knights back in the early 2000s. And he wouldn't scrape the crease. He would just go in with a fresh crease and just leave it. You know, a lot of times you see those goaltenders go in and they'll scrape the crease up to try to get a little better traction. He wouldn't do it.
Interesting.
He was a weird fellow, though.
Well,
I loved him, though. He was a great goalie.
Weird is not, the right word when it comes to goalies.
Just got to say goalie, and that's kind of all that happens, right?
Unique.
All right, now we're not seeing too much out of either of our unique players as the Riverkings and Hudson have hit a bit of a stalemate here trying to get some pucks through. Cross the line, flip back in, and there's Ambrose to touch it back off behind.
Yeah, a lot of good end-to-end action. I don't think either team's going to give the other one much of a break.
Deflected at center. Erdman just takes that one back into his own end as we've now passed the halfway point of regulation. Long pass to Heather by Erdman. It was a bit dangerous, but he did find Timo I. Moifer and Peterson. Nifty move there by Moifer to spin away. However, Peterson right in his back pocket now. I with a shot score!
Yeah!
Timo I. 2-0 Riverkings on a rocket wrister over the blocker, son of Ambrose.
Well, you earned one of the stars last night. Maybe you'll earn another one tonight. That was a great shot.
And that just generated, Paul, by dumping a puck in. Peterson comes in on Moifer and just harassed him as he tried to find the exit. When he did, there was nowhere to go. Ended up losing the puck. I right there to pounce. Made no mistake.
Yeah, and they're getting the puck to the top part of the net. That's important.
Well, big goal from Timo I. Now steer right back. Takes a shot at Ambrose. Knocks it into the corner. See if they give Peterson an assist on that. And yes, indeed they do, as this one's sent all the way down. And it will be icing. So Peterson's 30th assist of the season and 59-point. Timo I with his 18th goal and 48 points. The rookie, Timo I, 43 points. Excellent numbers. Excellent addition to this Riverkings squad all season long.
Yeah, looking forward to him continuing to grow and improve, and he's going to be a beast next year.
And of course he's a 99, so he does still have that year of eligibility left. Out of Metamora, Michigan. I back down for Peterson. Able to step free. Peterson has it with a shot save made by Ambrose. Rebound and another save by Ambrose as he puts the leg down and is able to hold off the forces.
Stay with it.
Now across the line, Kneifer ends up losing the handle on the puck. That would have been a huge one there for the Riverkings, but large saves made by Ambrose. Remember those. Down to 8:24 left here in the second period. Pass will go all the way back down, and that will be icing charged. And Wisconsin Rapids will get a face-off down in the offensive zone.
Dusick tried to take a little bit of a run at Richie Young there. He may want to reconsider that.
Dusick, the leading scorer, and one of the veteran players. There's not a lot of 98s on this team. Chase Moifer, Benjamin Lamb are among them. 99s, 2000s. pretty much mostly down the lineup for Hudson, so a lot of players that will be eligible to return. Dusick, one of those guys, number 17, 5'10", 174. Maybe not the biggest, but not scared.
And Hartley just took a shot to the back of the head.
Riverkings were able to hold the zone. They'll chase it back down low to be Dusick there with Hartley. Moifer passing into the skates of Wakefield, who lost the handle on it. Picked back up by Moifer, and he'll find Saarinen out at center. Wakefield carrying across the line, able to chip that one up the glass and back down. Milius. Saarinen, pass on, found Marty, try the shot. It was bouncing on him, didn't get enough on it. Now Moifer, he'll fire the shot, miss it wide, as one of the Hudson players scrapping with Hartley back behind. I think that was Saarinen.
Right next to the referee. And they let that go.
Young in a bit of danger. Lamb going to try the shot. That one deflected and then cleaned off of the doorstep by Jurgens. Young trying to settle it down. Wakefield backhands the puck back in. Marty trying to chase. Jurgens wrapping back toward the point area. Here is Young. Potts on the intercept. Looking for the puck again. Here is Potts. Smith rejecting it just past the red line. Young hit from behind by Knight for Riverkings, looking for a penalty, not going to get it. 6:54 left here of the period. Riverkings leading 2-0. One here in the second, one in the first.
A little holding the stick down there in the far corner.
Hudson trying to get things going here. That is Moore tying up well away from the puck with Lamb.
Holding in general in the far corner.
As Ambrose will brush that one up and into the netting. Did you notice this a bit yesterday as well, Paul? Was there a lot of clutching, grabbing, and physicality between these two teams, or is this a little bit different flavor than what it was one night ago?
There was a lot of physicality, but I don't think there was quite as many liberties taken.
Which is kind of odd because neither of these two teams really high as far as the penalties are concerned throughout the season.
Well, you're starting to get down towards the end of the season. Intensity levels may pick up, and I don't have a problem with that. But you know, play clean, play hard. Don't take any. You know, if you really want to call it a win, then you don't take any cheap advantages.
And I'm sure both of these teams know just how important these games are. And you know, next week, and that would really set the table. The Riverkings, even if they did win, wouldn't be able to surpass Hudson without a little bit of help down the stretch. But they would certainly put themselves in a nice position.
Well, I think the game tonight is going to set the tone for next week.
Absolutely. And then, of course, they have to still worry about what the Minnesota Moose are up to. Tapped on, a little bit of a dangerous play there, but Edwards is able to get it back out to center now. Stevenson, maybe one of the faster players in the league, sending it back around, wrapped back toward the point. Cut off by McKenzie. Kick free. Edwards tied up. Stevenson comes in and applies a bump and then spins away. And now here comes Hudson again. Wakefield. Chopped down by McKenzie. Chance for a 2-on-1. Here's Skinner with it. Shot save made by Pacheco. Rebound loose at the side of the net. Pacheco able to hold off the forces and the whistle blows.
Riverkings got a little bit of a break there. McKenzie was out of position trying to make that check. And then the whistle blowing early when that puck came squirting out. They definitely caught a break there.
Pacheco coming up with a big save. That puck free at the side of the net. Came up with another one. As you've said, Paul, maybe a little bit of a fortunate whistle there, but once the ref loses sight of it, there it goes. And that's a big save. Probably the best so far out of Dominic Pacheco.
Yeah, he's looked pretty strong so far tonight. Good to see him. He hasn't been in a few games, so.
5:26 left here. Shots on goal. The Riverkings doubling up in that department at 22-11.
I'm sure the 2-goal lead definitely helps him out too. You know, gives him a little room for error. So.
There's Moifer flipping it back down into the corner. Saarinen has it. Finds Marty. Couldn't get a shot off. Steer was right in his way. Like we've seen for most of the contest and the weekend, not a lot of breathing room. You don't want to give a scorer time or space. And Hudson hasn't had any of that today. Here comes Timo I. Back the other way with Steer. Trying to work around the defender. Couldn't get a shot off. Moifer ran him out of room. Moifer ahead for Wakefield. Knocked away by the Riverkings. Peterson on the spin. Will set it back in. Back behind Ambrose. Riverkings will change defenseman. Moifer with a pass ahead. This one deflects up. Picked up by Dusick. Bumped into by Smith. Moifer with a pass ahead. Now Jurgens there.
Riverkings have really kind of smothered them.
Yeah, there is not a lot of room out there for Hudson right now. The Riverkings getting to those loose pucks, and anytime there's just a slither of space or just a little bit,
now see, how do you come away with the other guy's stick and there's no call?
Well, that's what the Riverkings bench is asking right now, and nothing more to come of it. And there we see more scrapping. So
yeah, Adam Peterson's stick is still at the other end of the ice.
Physicality continues in this one. Lamb trying to get away from Rich Young. Ahead, good play by Hartley. Now Dusick trying to emerge out of the pile, but Smith tracking back. Jurgens just rejects it from inside the blue line, and Lamb will have to chase it to his own end. Another pass across and a chance for a 3-on-1 as Hudson is caught. The Riverkings going to change. There's a shot, score! Evan Mitchell with a rocket wrist shot over the blocker's side, and the deficit is cut to 1. 3:33 left in the second. Hudson gets on the board, a big one there. Well, it looked like maybe one of the Riverkings was gambling, and it left Jurgens back 3-on-1. Mitchell had a couple of options to try to pass off and just decided the shot was the best option, and indeed it was, as he tickles the twine on the 12th shot of the contest for Hudson. Mitchell's 9th of the season.
Well, they're a good team. It's going to be hard to keep them off the board.
And we'll see how that one might change the complexion of this. Sent back in, Pacheco knocking it down. Erdman right from the doorstep will flip it back toward the line, and now here's Lamb. Ends up going through the slot area. That should have been a hand pass as Skinner had touched it, and then it was played by Barnish. Played back in. Riverkings will try to catch back up to it. Kinski kicking it away. Puck is...
And now they're going to call that.
Up, yep, and there we will see matching minors.
He's calling both of them.
Barnish for Hudson, more for the Riverkings. With 3:05 left in the second period, the intensity just continuing to ratchet up here at the Southwood County Rec Center in this USPHL Midwest Free Game of the Week. Wisconsin Rapids with a 3-1 victory yesterday, third place over first place Hudson, and now with a 2-1 lead here on home ice in the Saturday session. But Hudson starting to push back a little bit here. We'll skate 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes, barring any further penalties. A little bit more open ice for some of these quicker skaters. McKenzie recognizes it, plays it ahead. Comes up with the puck now across the line. McKenzie spinning free down though, now trying to find some help. Back to the line. Erdman just sends it right back for McKenzie, looking to get the loose puck. And now here comes Marty. Marty trying to feed it ahead for Caleb Dusick. Pass was behind him.
So did you catch calling those penalties there, Matt?
Delay of game.
Matching delay of game call.
Matching delay of game. Maybe the refs have seen enough.
I'm beginning to wonder what they've seen at all.
Here's Krieger, across the line, changes the angle, has it again, tries a shot, save made by Ambrose. Puck bouncing free, and now a chance maybe for a 3-on-2, coming back the other way for Hudson. Indeed it is. Here is Flug on the take. Flug with a shot, missed the target, and the puck will come all the way back out to neutral. Dusick spinning one over to this side. Saarinen trying to catch up to it, but Fleming to it first for the Riverkings. 2 minutes remaining here in the second period. 2-1 Wisconsin Rapids lead. Here's Skinner, little space for him. Try the shot, got blocked. Bouncing puck, and Saarinen sent it toward the net, knocked away by Pacheco.
The Riverkings are doing a good job forcing them to the outside. It's harder to score from those angles. Keeping them out of the slot.
Not letting them get any good looks here for the most part. Mitchell had a good look, and now here's Peterson across the line, and he falls down trying to corral the puck. Moifer spinning back. 25 seconds still left on the 4-on-4. Here's Saarinen. With a chance for Flug to skate ahead. Big hit there by Peterson. Flug able to escape it. Lost his stick. Wakefield trying to come and help out. Will send it back into the Riverkings zone. A rolling puck spun by Pacheco over for Steer. Has Stevenson ahead. Stevenson on the take. We'll dish it back for Edwards. Edwards spins back down to 65 seconds left in this second period of play. And we're back to 5-on-5. Juergens back ahead. Kniffer being very careful not to get called for too many men. Now here comes Edwards. A chance for a 2-on-1 from the blue line. And Edwards has it. Tries a shot blocked by Lamb. Kirchnock in a corner. Pass intercepted. Lamb steps out. He'll pass it back across. Time running down here in this second period. Put back in by Skinner. Hartley knocking it away. Back to the corner again. Riverkings maybe looking for one final rush, but they'll lose it out at center. And here's Dusick. Chris Dusick. Over the red line now, Blue. Lost it. Got it back. Tries a shot. Didn't make it through. Juergens able to knock it away. Dusick trying to follow up that shot, though.
Still got some time to get to the other end.
Here comes Rich Young. 10 seconds left in the period. Still has the puck. Looking for Peterson. Feeds it back toward the point, but the pass gets deflected back out to center. And that should do it here for the second period. Indeed, it does. So one aside here in the second. Evan Mitchell for the Hudson Havoc. Made it a 2-1 contest after Team OI had made it 2-0, and that is where we stand after 40 minutes of play here from the Southwood County Rec Center. All right, folks, we are back here, and we have Brett Wall joining us in between periods 2 and 3. Coach, tell me what was going on there at the end of the second period. I noticed this game is starting to get a bit more physical. There's a bit more tension. This is an important game for both of these teams, and we're starting to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are two teams that we know are going to be guys that are pushing to make a good playoff run towards Boston and obviously towards the second round, and looking for kind of solidify some either home ice or just kind of standings is where we're going to be for first round and kind of get things going. But these are two teams that, me and Marty kind of spoke earlier in the summer. We thought it'd be a good opportunity. I felt really confident kind of what we were bringing into Hudson and what we had, and I think he felt pretty good about what we had come this way. And he said, Wally, let's do a home-and-home series and kind of see how things go. And I think it gives both teams kind of a true test to kind of see where everyone's at and kind of see if you need to go back to the drawing boards, make some changes or different kind of just strategic things or things you see. Just kind of how you stack up against some, probably the class of the division in the league. I think there's 4 or 5 teams here that can kind of beat anyone every night, and you get to challenge yourself against a good team here 4 games in a row. It makes for a lot of fun. And of course, you got 16 and 21-year-old kids here, obviously with a lot on the line, and guys are at the time of the year where you're fighting for positions at the next level or a college spot or a playoff position, and it makes for a lot of fun. For me, it's like the physical aspect of it. It's a part of the game. It's hockey. I don't think it's been taken out of control, but at the same time, the players are out here and it means something. So for me, I don't mind seeing that.
All right, well, I don't want to skew too far away from the game at hand, but we definitely need to talk about the turnaround in Hudson this year. 9-team USPHL Premier Midwest West last year. You guys, the only team that didn't make the playoffs. The roster was in a bit of flux all season long. You had a lot of the same players who are back and who are important contributors. What did you guys do to really change where you were last year to where you are now? Because obviously it's leaps and bounds different from one season to now.
Yeah, for us, first of all, the Hudson community is fantastic. It's very, very easy to be there, show up every day. You got a community that supports you. You got a rink and ownership there that is unbelievable. Anything we need is kind of taken care of, and we're treated like we're first class. And I think it's been reciprocated very nicely back and forth. So you get a little more community support coming into year 2. Obviously, I got in last year. Some guys know the story, some guys don't. I got in about 13 days last year prior to the season. Very few players, very few billets to try to put the thing together, and just kind of battled every day. And we had a lot of guys that, they did the things the right way. They came every day. They worked. It wasn't really what we wanted as far as team success. We had some guys that obviously had some individual success. I think this year it's showing. But just giving myself an opportunity to kind of go through and have a summer to really do things the right way and find guys that want to be here and really understand that what we have and what we're building here in Hudson is something of value. And I think we've got guys here that have kind of shown that and stepped up. We do have 16 rookies on our lineup, and for me, it's good to have those older guys that really show, hey, we've gone through some hard times, but we've worked, and this is what the culture's like. It was always a hard-working culture. It was always a showing up every day. It wasn't like we were going out there and we were losing games because of effort. Like you said, our roster was kind of up and down with different guys all over the place, and then, like I said, you have a summer to kind of revamp and really establish those core pieces that you had from last year, bring them back, and then you put them with a new group of young and hungry. It makes for a kind of exciting time. And like I said, but it truly goes back to my ownership with Dennis Vasky and Jimmy Anderson, and the Hudson community has been absolutely fantastic. Keep this thing rolling in a positive direction.
And let's talk a little bit about 2 of your core players, your 298s on the blue line.
Yeah.
Chase Moy for Benjamin Lamb. Those were guys that I thought last year did look like the players you were talking about had the success, were key contributors. How much does it mean to you? What does it mean to you to now know that after they had to pay their dues last year and struggle, now that they're in their 20-year-old season, they're getting to see the success?
I mean, for me, Ben Lamb, my captain, is, first of all, I mean, I can't say enough good things about him. For me, it's like he shouldn't have a seat. He should be assistant coach. I mean, that's kind of the way he is. There's very few guys that I think understand and really kind of see the game at this level the way he does. And for me, I would never tell us to his face, and I hate that I'm going to say it here, but he might be the only guy on the ice smarter than me. He knows what's going on systematic-wise. He sees what's happening. And for me, when you have a conversation with him, he really has a next-level mindset and focus and just understanding and grasp of situational play and time and place. And I think that's something that's going to help him make that jump and leap to the next level. And then you got Case. And Case, I love Case to death. But Case is very high-end skill. Case is a guy that can be a little bit more risk-reward. But for me, his risk is a little bit lower, and his reward is so beneficial that you can't really say anything about it. I mean, he's a guy that skates one way just as hard as he does the other way. For me, he kind of has that Erik Karlsson type of mindset. He can lead your rush, but at the same time, he'll be the first guy back on the back check because of his skating ability. So I think just being able to see him be able to utilize that and have guys around him that can be able to contribute with him and pull back and understand that Case is a guy going to be contributing offensively on a consistent basis, and just say, hey, this is what he is and how he plays. And I think we've had a lot of success with guys understanding with what he's doing, and he's had a lot of success because of it. He's really kind of stuck true to who he was in his game. He hasn't tried to change too much. He's just tried to really sharpen things he's good at.
Let's talk a little bit about your goaltending as well. You have Ambrose, you have Cook, you got Hurtelbaum, and you have guys that can get in there and make the saves when you need them. You've been outshot quite a few times this season, 16 times. That's not usually something you see out of a first-place team. But it seems like even in those instances, your goaltending has never let you down. Well,
for me, I'm going to, this is something I've said since probably the middle of summer last year, that the best decision I ever made was as soon as the season was done, I sat down with Cal, we went out for dinner, I said, hey, you're going to be the guy taking this thing, by the reins here. And he's really kind of stepped up, and, from day one in the summer when we said that was kind of his intent and focus. And I kind of say this, jokingly with him every once in a while, but I truly think he's the best player in the league. As far as MVP, he brings it every night. He's got a next level. The stats, they're there and they prove themselves, but the way Cal approaches every day, his work ethic, his demeanor, his mindset, he has very much a professional kind of build and makeup to him. So for me, I look at him and I think this is a guy that can definitely compete and contribute at the next level, and I think it's going to be college for him. And for me, he's a guy I can see him staying up all night long studying for a test and still coming to the rink and never knowing what's going on or not, being unshakable. He's a guy that he gets it on a daily basis, and I think his consistency and his professionalism on an everyday basis has led to the success here. And for him to kind of understand that at a little bit younger age and really grasp it this year has led to his success. It's 100% on him.
All right, back to the contest at hand here. I'm going to let you go here after this question. Yep. You get that goal from Mitchell, cuts it at 2-1. Now what do you need to see on your team here in the third?
We just got to move our feet. I thought all weekend, honestly, it's kind of looked like we've been skating in sand. I think we have opportunities where we have chances to go in transition. I thought we've kind of looked a little bit sluggish and slow, and when we get a chance to get the puck deep, we don't even get it all the way deep. We end up getting it to their defenseman, and the puck's going back the other way. So for me, there's a little bit of hit or miss there. We've got to just do simple details, but we got to do them the correct way. You can't go out there and it's a for sure play, we're going to get it deep and just kind of run. You've got to do things right. It's got to go 200 feet. You've got to be the first guy on the forecheck. I thought we've kind of slowed down a little bit on that. We just got to be a little more aggressive, getting the puck as deep, and F1's got to take some body.
All right, well, best of luck, Coach, not only throughout the rest of the game, but throughout the season and into the playoffs. Like I said, it's very refreshing, very awesome to see how quickly Hudson has turned things around, and obviously you're a big part of that.
Well, and at the same time, I know we are here. I know obviously me and Marty are battling each other right now. We're back and forth, but that's the beautiful thing about this game. Riverkings here and Coach Quarters and John Schwartz have been fantastic as far as just kind of guiding me along. Obviously, I'm a younger guy in the business here, but have done a fantastic job of just kind of mentoring me and say, hey, this is the direction you need to head, and things that you need to check off little boxes and ins and outs you don't think of. So can't say enough thank you to him as well. So.
All right, well, best of luck, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later on down
Wonderful.
the line.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great one.
Thank you. That is Brett Wall, head coach of the Hudson Havoc, joining us here on Hockey TV and Wisconsin Rapids Community Media in between periods 2 and 3. We're going to take a short time out. We're about 5 minutes away from setting you all up for period number 3. Stick around. Welcome back, everyone. Just about set to begin the third period of play here. This crucial matchup between the first place Hudson Havoc and the third place Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings, your USPHL Premier Midwest free game of the week. The Riverkings leading by a score of 2-1. Goals being exchanged in that second period. First, Team OI on his 18th of the campaign from Adam Peterson, his 30th assist. That at 10:42, then at 16:27, Evan Mitchell cut the deficit to 1, his 9th of the season with no assist on that. Matt Panier joined by Paul Kennedy, and Paul, we're right back where we were after 40 minutes of play yesterday. A 2-1 lead for the Riverkings, and do you expect to see them do exactly what they did 24 hours ago?
I certainly hope so. You know, you're going to play 7 more periods against the Hudson Havoc in the next week, and only one of them is going to be on your ice. So we've got to take advantage of this. So a little bit of delay in the Havoc getting back out to the ice now. So
yeah, and we want to thank head coach Brett Wall for joining us after the second period of play. Had a lot of good things to say, and a lot of excellent information about his turnaround and the team's turnaround in Hudson. We'll swap back to where we were going the first period. It will be Hudson now moving from right to left across your computer screen as it's chipped in by Wakefield. First two at the Riverkings. Take it off of the wall, an attempted shot that doesn't get through, as we see now Hudson putting a little bit of pressure on to start off the period.
Riverkings are chasing the puck down in their own defensive zone. They should be taking the man off the puck.
I was able to get it back out to center. Now here is Case Boyfer with a pass ahead, intercepted by Kirchnock. And I need to apologize to Case Boyfer for pretty much the entirety of his career. I've been calling him Chase. I don't know how I didn't see that.
The lighting up here is a little dark.
It's been a few different rinks.
I can't help you.
Yeah, might have to go to the eye doctor. Here's Mitchell. His shot doesn't get through. It'll be played back at it now. Kirchnock looking to settle things down on for Stevenson with a head of steam. Now here he goes. Stevenson lost the handle on the puck, trying to go one-on-one with Benjamin Lamb. High praise for the Hudson captain out of his coach.
Well, if you do go to the eye doctor, Matt, I can think of 3 other guys you could take with you.
Oh, goodness, Paul. I'm going to leave that one for you. Wrap back around. Here is Mitchell. Riverkings looking to clear. Potts kicking it back ahead. Bouncing puck inside. Knifer sending it back down low to be Hartley. Turning it right over to Mitchell, though, with a man in front. Knifer is there now. Mitchell with a wraparound attempt, and it's off of the side of the net. Back to the line. Lamb fakes the shot. Still holding. Lamb fires, and it's deflected over the top of the net.
You play the body there, you take that puck away from him.
Riverkings sent it down, but Rich Young was back behind the defense, and he'll take away the icing. So now Hudson is asking some questions of the Riverkings. Deflected back out at center, pulled away by Knifer, and he'll set it back in. I would imagine we may see Wall shorten up the bench here a little bit and start rolling those top 2 lines. Here's Lamb. Trying to skate away from danger. Lamb sees Skinner ahead. It'll be knocked back down. Nice pass on for Young. Couldn't corral, though, into the skates of Smith, and then shot back into the offensive zone for the Riverkings.
Much more flow to the start of this third period than last night.
Varnish with a pass ahead. Got to be Kinski. Off of the glass into the offensive zone. Erdman on for Colin Moore. Moving up from the defensive spot to forward here on this evening. And now Max Moore picking it back up. Dances behind the defense. Moore stepping back out. Tries the shot over the top of the net. Nifty move there by Max Moore. Unfortunately couldn't get it on target. Flug trying to help that puck free. Taking his man down, that's McDonald, who almost just sits on that puck. Riverkings sending it back over toward this side, and Varnish will get to it first. Pardon me, that's Skinner.
Moore just missed on that check.
Fleming back behind, watched by Wakefield. Off for the boards, a clean exit for the Riverkings, and a pass on for Colin Moore. Carrying it over the line, Moore dishing it back. Krieger tried the shot, it got deflected. Nice exchange there by Moore and Krieger.
Good to see them working together.
Intercepted again by I. Has it on the backhand. Timo I. Shot, save made. Ambrose will hang on.
Well, not a bad idea to try that shot.
Especially if you're Timo I and you've been on fire here for a little while. Probably since the showcase, Timo I has really been keeping pace with Adam Peterson as one of the top scorers on this team. And he's got what is the go-ahead marker so far in this contest.
Well, you got to have a guy, somebody to push you like that, too. So, Peterson's a great player. But I think that having somebody right behind him like that might light a little fire under him to continue to try and score even more. A little holding the stick down there.
It'll be Moifer who ends up coming up with it now, and he trying to pass, but misconnected, and it goes all the way down for icing. Well, Paul, when leading after two, the Riverkings, they've been there 13 times this season, including yesterday. They've won all 13. On the other side for Hudson, they have been trailing after two 6 times and have gone 1-5. So they have had one comeback. That came at the expense of the Dells Ducks in Hudson.
Well, I think if the Riverkings can make it difficult for the Havoc to get out of their own end like they were doing earlier in the game, and they make defensive plays like Jurgens just did, that's definitely going to help their cause in the third.
That was a huge play by Harold Jurgens as he slapped it away from Dusick, who followed up his own rebound and almost got to it. Hudson is yet to go on the power play, by the way. So good job by the Riverkings thus far, holding on to the discipline. Just the 3 power plays in this contest thus far, all for the Riverkings, and they did not score on any of them. All of our goals have been of the 5-on-5 variety. Here's Chris Dusick stepping up, just asked to deal it back. Moifer for Dusick once again. To the red line, sends in as we near the 5-minute mark of this period. A 2-1 Riverking lead. Skinner on the intercept, throws it in front, was looking for Starkey, bouncing puck, still loose, and then cleared back to the slot area. It is still not controlled, and finally the Riverkings are able to play it to the line. Stevenson had it swatted away now. Lamb able to poke that from Kirchnock. Back behind, and here's Stevenson. He does not lose a lot of races to loose pucks.
Yeah, I like to see him after he dumped that puck off there. He headed right for the front of the net. So good to see that he's making that move towards there.
Back into the offensive zone for the Riverkings. It is knocked down by Hudson, picked back up by Lamb, and another pass on now. Skinner trying to muscle his way from Rich Young. That's not an easy thing to do. Left back by Ambrose, spun back by Lamb, onto the stick of Dylan Marty, who was the leading scorer for Hudson a season ago. Now here's Saranen, and he's got Wigfield ahead and finds him, but just missed on the pass. And here is McKenzie. Getting roughed up there by Wigfield with a DDT, and that's going to be a penalty.
They call that one.
So there goes Pacheco for the extra attacker. Pass ahead, touched up by Lamb. The Riverkings will now have their 4th power play. Not really a difficult call there, as you saw Wigfield get his arm around the head of the Riverking player and kind of take him down from there.
Well, they've had a few liberties tonight.
This is a pretty critical juncture in the game here. Riverkings with a chance to find some insurance. 13:49 left on their 4th power play of the contest. And the penalty kill for Hudson has been so good. Flug off of the glass and back out to center. Fleming chasing back, just deals on for Steer. He's watched by Caleb Dusick, and now here comes Fleming again. Stronning through neutral, drops back for Peterson, top of the circle, trying to pass off, got deflected. Now look out, because here comes Hudson back the other way. Chris Dusick with a little space, going one-on-one with the defender, Steer. Thinks about turning the corner. Nice play by Steer as he poke checks it away.
That's just what they should be doing. The whole team got back defensively, and now Steer's doing a great job playing the body, and look the way they come away with the puck.
And a chance, maybe some numbers coming up here for the Riverkings as they pass off. Peterson has it, takes the shot, the save made by Ambrose, and he'll cover it up.
Well, he caused Ambrose some job-related stress there.
And not an easy angle for Peterson for that shot, but at this point in the contest, no shot really seems like a bad one, as 26-15, we're not exactly lighting that score sheet on fire.
Well, Ambrose has only averaged about a 2.0 goals against average for the season, so he's tough to beat.
Yeah, his numbers have been spectacular, and as Brett Wall said, he thought he's the best player in the league, and he's going to need a big save there as he made one on Kirchnock point blank.
Yep, good opportunity there. Goalie just made a great save.
Hartley now for Jurgens. Second unit of power play out for the Riverkings. They've looked just as dangerous as the top unit. Young. Dishes off Stevenson. Knocked away from him. Hartley will pick it back up and throw it down low. Out of the reach of Kirchnock. Down to 40 seconds left of the power play and cleared back out by Hudson once again. Hartley will dish back for Harold Jurgens, the Latvian. Leaving it off. Stevenson, look at his speed. There he goes. Now here comes Jared Stevenson carrying it over the line. Passes off. Knocked away nicely in front by Lamb.
He comes in a zone like that again, he's going to need a flight plan.
Or maybe a parachute to slow him down. Here's Jurgens. Back behind, has it on the backhand, feeds in front, hoping for Young. Young able to poke it back into the corner as he's watched by Lamb. Down to 6 seconds left on the power play. Hartley harassed at the line. A good diving play there by Marty, and then Hartley able to slap it away from him.
Nice job staying with that.
Another penalty kill for Hudson. 4 for 4, including a 5-minute major that they've now killed off. Here are the Riverkings with McKenzie and Krieger with a pass back across. On the take over the line. Now leaving back. Peterson shot over the top of the net. Had some space to look but missed. Flug. Look at a spin free. There's I. Takes him down, and a penalty coming up here to Timo I. Dusek back behind. 11:14 left in the period. Hudson is about to go to their first power play, but they're going to work with the extra attacker, and that'll end that as it goes out of the stick of Evan Erdman. Well, as I had said, sometimes you'll see penalties start to balance out a little bit in the game, so the first 4 go the way of the Riverkings, and now Hudson gets their first opportunity on the power play. And a power play goal here would be huge in the complexion of this contest.
Well, like I said earlier, the Riverkings just need to take some time, realize they've probably got that extra half second they need, and control the puck.
Killed 6 of 7 yesterday. Here's Marty. Throws it into the mixer. Shot spun, didn't make it through, and now Peterson has a little space going one-on-one back the other way. Has Krieger break into the net mouth. He was watched there by Chris Dusek.
Nice job by the captain there, holding on to the puck, just trying to chew up some of that clock.
Back the other way comes Hudson. Here comes Chris Dusek across the line, looking to set things up now for that Hudson power play. For Marty. Wrap back over toward the near side circle. It'll be Saarinen. Saarinen couldn't feed it through. Lamb just running out of time. Decides that he has to chop that one back down low and took a hit for his troubles from Krieger. Wakefield for Saarinen. Trying to return to Wakefield. Steer able to slap that away. Now Lamb dancing away from Krieger. Back for Wakefield. Once again to the point in Dusek. One timer coming and it's blocked by Fleming, and another shot in front. It is under Steer. Not in.
No goal.
The Hudson bench jumping up and down thinking they should get a penalty shot.
After blocking that last shot, Fleming should get an ice pack.
Now Fleming stepped in front of a huge one-timer, then Steer ends up coming up with a stop in the crease. Now, if you are a skater, you can't cover the puck in the blue paint. And that is exactly what Hudson is trying to argue now. I mean, that is at the official's discretion, whether it was done intentionally or not. And I don't know that Hudson is going to get what they want out of this, but they're going to try to make that case. It's so hard to argue the intention there of Jordan Steer. He was just going to the back post either to make sure that that puck stayed out or to make sure that nobody wearing a black jersey was going to get to it first. It ended up under him.
Looks like he's calling for the face-off.
Yeah, and that's going to be that. It'll just be the whistle. And they may also have said that the net was off the moorings when the whistle blew.
Well, there was a large collection of hockey equipment down there at the time.
Yeah, this one could be argued either way, and certainly it will be talked about. Peterson, nice play, plucked the puck off of the wall and then sent it back down low. We have just gone past the halfway point of this third period. 45 seconds left on the Hudson power play. Their first of the contest. Case Moifer able to step up now. Gets past Peterson, still in possession. Back to the line and Skinner. He'll find Moifer with it again. Nobody home as it goes back out to center.
Nice job on the forecheck there by Edwards.
There's a pass across the side of the reach of Caleb Dusick, but the carrier finds him inside the line, trying to dance free. That puck deflects, held in by Kinski. Jurgens with 12 seconds left on the power play. Not past Kneifer, puck there, poke free, and now here comes Peterson if he can catch up to it. Skinner slaps that at once, and then Peterson knocks it free.
And there's Edwards right back to the slot.
And Peterson trying to feed it back that way, but missed everything, and it comes back out to neutral as it's backhanded in by the Riverkings once again, who have killed off the power play.
Well, that's got to help their confidence.
That was a big kill there. They certainly did not want to give up that even up marker. Here's Stevenson, shot, save made as Ambrose puts the blocker down. Quick shot there from Jared Stevenson. Just outside of the line, shot back ahead by Erdman. Ref looked up to see if the net had moved at all. Decided that puck stayed in play. Big collision there out at center as Smith gets stepped into.
He had his head down a little bit.
Yeah, the Hudson bench like that as they try to find some momentum here. Still trailing by one as we're now down to 8:11 left here in this period. Right where they were at this point yesterday. Luke backhanding one ahead. This one is shot back out to center. It'll be a foot race for the loose puck where Chase McKenzie gets to it first. McKenzie trying to spin away from the goal scorer, Evan Mitchell. Wigfield on the intercept. Attempted centering pass. Taken back by Wisconsin Rapids, and now in flight here is Young. He'll be knocked into the boards by Flug. Batted it around, was out of the reach of Smith. Young with it again. He'll try to spin free. Flug takes him into the boards. Milius back down low. A pass back ahead for Mitchell and a chance for a 2-on-2 back the other way, but a change being made. Here's Mitchell. Slapped away nicely there by Steer.
Nice job on the breakout.
And here is Max Moore carrying in 1-on-3. Numbers did not favor him. Puck was lost, and it's picked back up by Hudson. Skating back to pick up the puck. It is spun back now by Raymond Fleming. Into the skates of Team OI. Back to the line. Knocked down nicely by Lamb. Turned it over to Steer, though. And Fleming is back in possession with a pass back ahead. Peterson deflects it on. Ambrose had to make a stop on it, and he'll leave it off for Lamb. Well, Hudson trying to get things generated out of their own end right now. Having some difficulty as Wakefield was unable to handle that. They'll go back down, and now they'll get a chance in the offensive zone on the icing.
Well, I think the Riverkings should be commended so far in their discipline tonight. They've had more than one occasion where probably could have had a penalty called against the other team, and they've managed to control themselves and not get into a bad situation. They took a couple of bad penalties last night, I thought. So.
Yeah, that's a really good point by you, Paul, because a lot of times in hockey, it's not that first little bit of poke, but it's the retaliation that usually ends up getting called, and the Riverkings have done a good job of not getting caught doing that.
I also think Peterson really should be commended. You know, you see him out there now, he's kind of acting like a coach on the ice. He's directing people, he's having conversations with them, so good job by the captain to lead them.
Yeah, a good veteran presence, on the other side, too, and Lamb kind of doing the same thing. That one comes free. Jurgens right there waiting, and he'll bat it back out to center. What does this one look like in comparison to yesterday's contest?
Much more flow to the third period. There's, I just think that the teams are starting to bear down. They're concentrating more on playing hockey as opposed to trying to maybe settle some personal scores out there. So, nice shot.
Yeah, bad turnover there by the Hudson Havoc. Peterson fired the shot from the circles. Hudson will clear this time. At some point here, now that we're down to 5:45 left, you would have to imagine that Hudson is going to begin to gamble, throwing their very talented defenseman into the play.
Yeah, but they can't get away from what they've been doing all night. I mean, they're one bounce away from being tied up in this game.
Sec for Moifer. Again, the Riverkings with those white jerseys just causing all kinds of issues. Very similar to what we saw against the Minnesota Moose a couple of weeks ago. Big hit there, applied by McKenzie. Skinner able to stay onto his skates, but he did end up losing the puck. Pardon me, that was actually Barnish. Now this one deflects right over to Jesse Edwards. Edwards away from Kinski. Skates past Potts, still with a puck now. Taking a look, trying to find some options. Finds Fleming. Wrist shot deflected on a bouncer, and Ambrose had to get his glove on it.
That's a nice job by Edwards there. I think last night he held onto the puck a little bit too long and didn't make good use of his teammates. And he's definitely rectified that with that play.
And Fleming, one of the more dangerous shots back there as well. Now just inside the line. The Riverkings will be very content if this sort of play keeps up as they continue to smother that breakout of Hudson.
Well, they can't get too conservative, though.
Pass back ahead. Deflected onto the stick of Fleming, who will find Smith. Riverkings continuing to roll those lines. Fresh skaters out again. Here's Steer. Shot on. That one didn't get through, and it just bounced through the blue paint and missed. Dusek with Smith right in his back pocket. Milius there. Hudson able to get it back out to center. But Juergens firing a long one in. That one took a deflection. Wouldn't have been icing as Ambrose had to play it anyway. Potts' pass intercepted by Smith. In the corner. Played back ahead once again to now Smith. Picked up by Wisconsin Rapids. Young dishing off Juergens. Trying to skate in. Throws it out in front, and the save made off of Milius. Good job by Ambrose to hug that post down the near side. We get a whistle here.
Skate away.
I think what we're going to see is a whistle here because one of the Riverkings ended up going through the crease. .342 remaining here in the third period, a one-goal game. It's been another good one here from the Southwood County Rec Center, this USPHL Premier Midwest Free Game of the Week. As the Riverkings try to close in on the first place Hudson Havoc. The second place Minnesota Moose would be happy with this result if it held as well, as they were up and away against the Steele County Blades.
I think if you looked at just the standings prior to this weekend, people thought that Minnesota was really going to roll over the Riverkings, and Riverkings have proven they're not going to lay down for anybody here. So.
And this Southwood County Rec Center is not an easy place to play either. I know the Riverkings have surrendered a few here throughout the season, which is kind of odd compared to seasons past, but it's never easy to come in here and take the W.
And it shouldn't be. You skate on this ice every day. You know what part of the boards are fast, what part of the boards are dead. You should definitely have a home rink advantage. You've got the crowd behind you.
Krieger will step into his man now as that puck will go back into the bench. And once again, we get a whistle and a face-off.
Okay, Riverkings need to just keep an eye on, towards the end of the game last night, they took a late period penalty, so need to make sure that they're not getting tied up in those kind of things at this point.
Yeah, that would definitely be what the doctor ordered on the side of Hudson right now. The Riverkings cannot prescribe that. Although they were very solid on the penalty kill when they had that opportunity. Here's Krieger. Skating ahead, makes a move at the line, drew his line mates offside, so he had to make sure he didn't cross, and then it'll be floated in there by Erdman. It was a smart play there by Krieger not to just step in and take that offside. I bounce this one in. Ambrose had to make a save out of this. We're now under 3 minutes remaining. Hudson trailing by one, back in possession, but again, Peterson and I in there to make things difficult on the breakout.
I think that was very sportsmanlike on I's part there. He really could have creamed him.
Played back in the corner. It'll be Erdman over to this side for McKenzie. 2:33 and counting remaining. We'll keep our eye on Ambrose. But it is the Riverkings in possession, sending it back in. Chris Dusek. A couple of moves, passing off across the line. Saarinen offside. And he was ready to walk down Broadway and try to wind up that wrister. The coordination at the line not quite there for Hudson, and maybe a bit of a break for the Riverkings. Face off just outside of the River King end. 2:16 and counting now left here in the third period. Marty tossing it back toward the corner, wrap back around, and here's Steer trying to help it back out to center. Indeed it will. It goes all the way down, and the rolling buck across the line for icing with 2:03 remaining. I'm watching the Hudson bench, wondering if we're going to see a timeout here. Doesn't seem like it, and maybe not a bad idea. Remember, the River Kings can't change. So you got that top line out there right now for Hudson, trying to wear down the River Kings. Ambrose still in net to our right-hand side with 2:03 left in the third. And here comes Jordan Steer. Able to flutter that one back in the offensive zone. Lamb wrapping it back around. Dylan Marty on the take for Saarinen, looking for Wigfield. Does get it across the line. He'll get harassed by Steer and takes him down once again. Very similar to the penalty he took earlier. This time the ref missed it. Marty with a hit on his man. Spinning it back in. Down to 1:32 left here in this third period. River Kings leading 2-1 as we go down the stretch here from the Southwood County Rec Center. River Kings back in possession, intercepted by Mitchell. He'll get stopped up by Stevenson. Ambrose still in net to our right-hand side. He's going to have to play the puck here. Down to 1:10 left in the period. Hudson trying to get something going here. Trailing by one, no deflection. Will it be icing? No, it won't. There goes Ambrose.
Sorry, Matt.
No problem. We were both thinking it. Ambrose is going to have to go back now. Lamb with 53 seconds left in the period, trying to escape Team OI with a pass ahead. Intercepted by Krieger, knocked down at center. He'll center right back in. Ambrose still unable to go off for the extra attacker. Here's Dusick. That one banks ahead. Team OI will catch up to it first. He'll hold the zone and send it back to the wall on the far side. 35 seconds left here in the third period. Dusick trying to get going again. Got cut off by I again. And now here comes Lamb. There goes Ambrose. Lamb across the line with Caleb Dusick. Extra attacker out now. Hartley in possession. 20 seconds left in the period. Jurgens to the line. Not out. Kneifer tries the shot. That one goes wide. Puck back over to the corner on the far side. 12 seconds left in the period. It'll be Caleb Dusick trying to find it. Chris Dusick once again. 7 seconds left in the period. Back to the line. Dusick with it one more time. 2 seconds. Tried the shot. Skinner with a save. Pacheco. That will do it.
That was a save of the night right there.
The River Kings hold on. The attempted buzzer beater ends up right in the equipment of Pacheco. And it's a weekend sweep for Wisconsin Rapids.
Going to be a lot of happy humans down by the River Kings locker room tonight.
Well, Skinner got open on that near side. Dusick was able to find him. It got directed off of Skinner. I don't know if he got the stick or the skate on it. But either way, Pacheco comes back across and makes sure that there was nothing going there. Yeah, Skinner did get a stick on it. Pacheco comes across. When you look at that one again, you're going to like it, River Kings fans. Dom Pacheco saves his best for last and saves the weekend sweep for the River Kings.
That could be a Sports Center highlight there.
No scoring here in the third period as the River Kings hold on for win number 26 of the season. 26-13-1. Points 52 and 53. Now moving within 5 points of Hudson. And a chance for them to do it again next weekend. It'll be a little tougher on the road, but Paul, the River Kings have to be feeling all kinds of good after this weekend.
Absolutely. You come in against a top-ranked team in the division and you sweep them, I would be flying high right now. I think that they're pretty confident. There's a lot of smiling, a lot of happiness down there, and our producer Art is happy, and so that's good.
It's always good when the producer's happy. We always want to keep him happy.
I've not seen him happy.
Yeah, we got Matt Fillmore, our Hockey TV producer. He looks happy. Zach looks happy over there on camera.
I'm glad Zach's happy.
Zach's always happy. He's a happy guy. All right, 3 stars of the game coming up here. Game-winning goal, Team OI. 3rd star of the game, very deserving. Made it 2-0.
Our 2nd star player of the game was number 27,
Rich Young scoring the other goal for the Riverkings at one of the first period.
He had a great game away from the puck as well.
Yes, he did. And Dom Pacheco, as we said, kept up with that save right at the end. He made another big save, remember, in the 2nd period when he was down and out, sprawling. Yep. It was a 2-0 game at the time. Could have made it 2-1, then Mitchell made it 2-1. Pacheco making the saves that he needed, stopping 16 of 17. On the other side, Ambrose stops 30 out of 32, and the Riverkings skate away with the victory. Paul, your final thoughts here?
I think they've got a lot to be proud of. They, again, you look at the score sheet or the standings coming in, and one would think that it would be a pretty easy weekend for the visiting team, but the Havoc found out that there's a reason why the Riverkings have got such a great record at home.
And of course, these 2 teams back in action again next weekend, as we'll move the action over to Hudson, with the games coming up on the 7th and 8th. So Friday and Saturday, 7 and 7:30 at the Hudson Sports and Civic Center. And you know, we get the home games here on Hockey TV, but I think we'll be watching very intently next weekend, because if this weekend was any kind of a preview, that's going to be at least 8 more periods of good hockey.
It's a great weekend here from Southwood County Recreation Center.
I don't know why I said 8, 6. Don't ever ask me to do math.
You're not the math guy.
Don't ever ask me to do math. There's a reason God created journalism, and I'm it. So I can say that much with confidence. All right, folks. Well, we thank you so much for joining us, whether you are watching us here on Hockey TV for the free game of the week, or you're a subscriber, you're watching us on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Don't forget, all of the home games go on YouTube. Art does such a good job of that. Matt and Zach do a great job here on the Hockey TV side. Paul, you do a spectacular job as well. And we thank you all for being on board with us tonight. So, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Super Bowl Sunday. Have a good one. We'll see you here in 2 weeks when the Riverkings host the Blue Hawks for the final weekend of the regular season. Then it's playoff time, baby, and anything can happen then.
Gotta love the playoffs.
All right, until we cross paths again, my friends, please stay out of trouble.